Baba Kamal 113A says it's okay for somebody who's Jewish to lie to somebody who is not Jewish as long as it's within a legal setting. And again, the Jesuits were created to counter the 95 Theses written by Martin Luther. The Jesuits were Catholic and Jewish in their origins, and Martin Luther wrote 2 documents going after 2 groups, the Catholics and the Jews. And I'm not saying all Catholics and Jews are wrong. I imagine that's probably not what Martin Luther was doing either, but he attacked elements within these groups and said that they, were a serious problem for the world. That doesn't mean everybody who's Catholic or Jewish, but certain things going within those realms. And again, when you read the Talmud, not all Jews subscribe to the Talmud, but the Talmud expresses that the only humans on the planet are Jews and everybody else is a goyim, which is considered an animal because we're not smart enough to be considered human. So again, you guys, all this stuff is very real, and it's being done to us every day. The NBA is about the most dishonest thing there is in the world of sports. It's so pathetic. It's amazing that anyone thinks it's real. But again, you know what's interesting about mainstream and Kobe Bryant? Look at it one more time. You see the 113, the 41, the 157? I mean, talk about mainstream, Kobe Bryant. But Kobe Bryant is the same thing. And again, just this dishonest creature of the NBA, total fraud of a human being, died on his 157th day of his age, supposedly, and at age 41. 113 days after his birthday, he was in the news for helping out with a car accident, supposedly in Los Angeles. And then the 58 goes with... We're going to talk a lot more about that number in just a second here. But Los Angeles Lakers, of course, is 58. The real King James died at age 58. Freemasonry, Secret Society, Rosicrucian, they're all 58. All in the same cipher as Los Angeles Lakers. Freemasonry, Rosicrucian, Secret Society. Freemasonry, the Secret Society, where you have to do the tracing boards to climb up your first 3 degrees, and the list goes on. Oh, and they're all about Solomon's Temple, where all the Masonry secrets are in. And again, Solomon's Temple... What the Catholic Church considers what was Solomon's Temple was occupied by the Knights Templar during the Crusades, and for a Masonic lodge to be open, the Knights Templar have to be there to recognize it. And again, modern Freemasonry was created by the Jesuit order, and the Jesuits have the Templar cross in their logo, and the Templars were military order of the Catholic Church like the Jesuits are. And the Catholics are known for having the best buildings in town, and the Masons are builders. I mean, it's really easy to understand how all of this stuff comes together when you know the historical timeline, when you just look at the facts on the surface, and then when you learn Gematria as well. And, you see things like how Freemasonry is 58 and 59. So is Pope Francis. And again, fine line between the Jesuits and the Masons. D.C. is the land of the Jesuits and the Masons. But anyway, I was starting out with that 238. I know there's something to it being up 238 points. I've seen too much of that number. It really, the way it first connected for me, though, was just how it's a double overlap with Jordan and Kobe. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant are both 113, and then Jordan has the 238, and Kobe's birthday is 23/8. So there's obviously something more to that. And today, with this huge ritual, again, the I on the dollar bill, I. E-Y-E, E the 5th letter, Y the 25th, E the 5th. And notice 25 has a square root of 5, and 5 is the third prime number, and there's 3 letters in the word I, right? Everything's about controlling the mind's eye. Religion is 53, Catholic is 35. But yeah, this is who controls the nation, no doubt about it. And how about this one over here? Greg Knapp, assistant coach for the Jets, just kicks the bucket and no real explanation, but it's just written, well, now he can be in heaven. Okay. Guess. But look at this, you guys. Dead at 58, right? He's dead at 58. If you read the story, he is dead at 58. He was 58. Remember Kevin Green's big death ritual at age 58? But look at this. From his March 5th birthday, hey, there's that 3-5 again. From his birthday to his death is 139 days later. I mean, this is where we began. These are 2 numbers that we talked about from the very beginning. When I first started Gematria, I didn't do the alphabetic order in reverse because I didn't think to do that. And this is all I knew from Manly P. Hall's The Secret Teachings of All Ages, the alphabetic order and the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. And I've seen this pattern so many times. Freemasonry, 139:58. So this man dies 139 days after his birthday, at age 58. I mean, come on. And remember what it is about 139. It is the 34th prime number. So in the most simple cipher, A is 1 up to Z is 26. Freemasonry is 139. If I get rid of the masonry and I just have free, it's 34. 139 is the 34th prime number. Number relationships, mathematics, and language. And again, the nation with so many Masonic founders. DC, the Jesuit Masonic city. America's got the 139. Say, well, why doesn't it have the Jesuit tribute? It does. United States of America is 84 in the most pure cipher. Jesuit is 84 in the most simple cipher. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, Masonry is 84. If you write out the Catholic Church, it is 84. If you write out the Jesuit order, it is 84. The leader of the Jesuits, Superior General, the title. The first Superior General was Ignatius of Loyola. He died 84 days before his birthday. The most recent Superior General to die was Adolfo Nicolas, who died at age 84. But that's the leader of the Jesuits, the title. And again, just to remind you, Adolfo Nicolas died on the day leaving 225 days left in the year. His name's 225. His name's 54 and 72. Jesuit Order 5472. What a name for the leader of the Jesuits. Again, day after day, so easy to prove that all of this stuff is way beyond coincidence. I mean, these are the same patterns over and over. And literally, it's going to be 8 years next month in the 8th month. I started doing this in August of 2013. Started out exclusively on my Facebook with my friends and family until I had to delete it because all of them were accusing me of being schizophrenic from showing them things just like this. And I thought, God, what a bunch of dummies. They still all think I'm crazy for questioning 9/11, and now they think I'm schizophrenic now that I'm showing something that's way beyond coincidence. Even when I first started, I didn't have hardly a fraction of what I do now because I've been researching 8 years straight. But I still had enough to make a good argument in the beginning. And again, I had people calling me schizophrenic for showing this. I mean, how can you think that this is a coincidence? You have to be so dumb, and that's what most people are. Again, Jesus is 74, cross 74, Messiah 74, gospel 74, parable 74. Who would code that into the language? From the very beginning. The word Jewish is 74. They say Jesus was Jewish. The English translation of Jesus is Joshua. Joshua 74. People threw arguments at me. See, I guess that's how I kind of probably figured out at first that the Oregon thing was a good example to show. People were responding that I was either schizophrenic or it was just a coincidence or probably a lot of things added up to that. And I just thought, no, I've been writing down in a notebook, not everything just adds up to 74, but all those words do. And again, just to get that list up there. Jesus, cross, Messiah, gospel, parables, Jewish, Joshua. All of those things are related. This is a Hebrew practice, a Jewish practice going back to, the Hebrew language, right? Thousands of years, much older than English. It's about bringing words and numbers, words that have the matching numerical value and natural relationships together. All of these things have a natural relationship. Jesus, cross, Messiah, gospel's the story of Jesus, parables is how Jesus spoke. They say he's from Judea, so, in English, Jewish. And then the English translation of Jesus is Joshua, which is also 74. And again, that's not even his real biblical name. So it was manipulated to that. And then, lo and behold, this practice, English is 74, Gematria is 74, right? What's the big English city? London, 74. What's this nation's birthday? Holy Day, holiday 74. This nation's birthday is 7/4, when we supposedly got free from London, England, right? And again, the only other cipher I knew in the beginning was the alphabetic order of the rules of numerology, the dark blue one. Independence Day, 74. I mean, these are the things I was showing to people and getting ridicule from. I just ended up deleting my whole Facebook page. I was like, fuck it, man. There's only 2 people on here worth knowing. I don't want to know any of you, man. The rest of you are just pissing me off. I don't need to have anything to do with any of you anymore. I'll share this information with people who might get it. And, I started the blog, and then once I got confident enough with it, I started making, videos about it. And, but the point I was going to make is what I was showing people is out of the 50 states, if you go through the 50 states with these, the only 2 ciphers I knew, you only get 1 state that equals 50. Because I already had people making the argument back then, 2 ciphers? Now you can probably just connect whatever you want. It's just like, okay, another retarded argument. But out of the 50 states, only 1 sums to 74. Oregon. Only Oregon. 1 out of 50. That's 2%. So, that list of words with Jesus, if you wanted to say that 1 in 50 words equaled 74, which is not true. Somebody ran the statistical analysis. It's less than 1% of words have the same Gematria value. So a fraction of a percent times 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 a fraction of a percent. That's how you find the probability. That's how it works. If you take probability, you learn that to find if something has 50% odds and 50% odds, what's the probability of it going this way and this way? Those two outcomes you want. Well, 50% times 50% becomes 25%. So 1 in 4 chance. Smaller and smaller. Every time you do it, it would get smaller and smaller. Again, this stuff lining up the way it does is improbable. And for all the people that make these just bogus arguments and just say some, nonsensical thought and then write off something that they really do need